Hello everyone, welcome to Lokmaanya. My name is Mark Kinra. For my interview today, I have a very special guest, and it is my honor to welcome Dr. Hristo Kyuchukov. Dr. Kyuchukov, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
Yes, that's right.
Right, sir. Sir, my first question to you. You are a PhD in psycholinguistics. Please tell us something about this subject.
Well, I defended my first dissertation, my first PhD at the University of Amsterdam in 1995. And this was about the child language, how the Roma and Turkish children from Bulgaria learn Bulgarian language and what kind of problems they have and why they have those problems. And after that, coming back to Bulgaria from Amsterdam, the Bulgarian government didn't recognize my dissertation and my diploma from the University of Amsterdam, and I had to defend two more dissertations and to have a habilitation in order to be able to work at the university.
Okay.
So psycholinguistics is a science which is dealing mainly with the way how the people speak, why they speak like that, or my personal interests are bilingual children, the children who are growing up with two or three or more languages,
Okay.
and how those children learn these languages, and what's happening with the grammar which they acquire. Are there any errors? Why they make errors and stuff like that.
Okay, that's really interesting, sir. Not really, I don't think so many people have heard about this subject, but really interesting. So I myself, I'm speaker of two languages, but yes, I'll not say that, in my personal experience, I'm fully proficient in both, but yes, I work around. Sir, as you know, Roma have migrated 1000 years ago, and since then they have led their lives in nomadic way, due to which the community has spread sparsely. I have heard in one of your interviews that 70% of the words in Romani language has been taken from Hindi. Are they still using this language in their day-to-day life? And if yes, how do you think they have succeeded in maintaining this link?
Okay, well, one of the theories says that the Indians who left India arrived to Byzantine Empire, and they belonged to the group in India which was called Domba, and those people were speakers of different dialects or different languages. And when they came to Byzantine Empire, they spent there approximately 150 years. And then they actually took some words from Greek language as well. But the basics of the language is coming from Indian languages, not only from Hindi, but also from Sanskrit, Prakrit, and we have also words from Punjabi language and other Indian languages as well, because there is no documentation, there is no written sources from which languages these people spoke when they came to Europe, to Byzantine Empire. And now we are reconstructing the language and finding those words from Indian languages, taking closer look to the vocabulary and to the existing vocabulary of Romani, and try to identify which words from which language came to Romani. But it is correct that between 70 to 80% from the nowadays words which the Roma use in their everyday life and in everyday communication, they come from Hindi and other Indian languages. Of course, there are a few words from Armenian language, there are words from Greek language, but the basic is actually from Indian languages. Yeah.
Okay. And sir, how do you think that they have maintained this link for for thousands of years? Because this is like traveling from one part of the world to another part, and still that link, that 70% is a huge amount.
Yeah. Well, actually, Romani was a secret language. It was not known to the majority, to the mainstream societies.
Okay.
They were trying to keep the language, and not to allow anyone from outside to learn the language. And this is how actually they succeeded to maintain the language. And there were a lot of varieties of so-called secret Romani varieties of the language. So there were between different groups, they were creating their own secret language, but the main basics were Indian languages. The basic came from Indian languages. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is one of the way how they maintained, and still even today they speak a lot. I mean, there is a high number of vocabulary coming from Indian languages.
That's really interesting, sir. So, can you tell our viewers, like, can you tell us examples, some examples of a Hindi word and a Roma word?
Well, the names of this is nak, this
Nak,
is ka,
okay,
this
okay,
is bal.
okay,
What else? And there are a lot. I mean, there are verbs in Romani which come chala chala, for
okay.
example.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
go.
and so there are.
Okay, that's really nice. Okay, sir. You are born and brought up in Bulgaria. What was the condition of Roma during the communist state then and a democratic state now?
So speaking about the economical conditions of the Roma during the communist period, they had jobs. The education of the Roma children was free of charge. The healthcare was free of charge. So economically speaking, the Roma had better life
Okay.
in the communist time. And after the democratic changes, the racism, open discrimination, neo-fascism increased in Europe everywhere, not only in Bulgaria, and the anti-Gypsyism increased, and there were more open direct attacks on Roma settlements and killing of Roma, and yeah, all those racist comments in the social media and in open public places, and very often in Europe you can see written with spray things like Roma to concentration camps, or death for Roma, or this kind of things. Unfortunately, this is after 1990s. And but from other side, the Roma got more united in Europe, and they started to much more Roma children go to universities nowadays. There is a big awareness of this, that Romani language should be preserved and saved for further generations. There are a lot of publications on Roma history and culture, and this Roma identity, which was forbidden during the communist period, nowadays it's much more free, and the people can freely identify as Roma. And in the communist period, this was absolutely impossible.
No, really interesting. So there is basically pro and con in both the communist state and the democratic state.
Yes, yes.
Really interesting. So my next question to you. Bulgaria's Romani population is multi-religious, like they have Islam, they have Christianity, and even irreligious, like people are not following any kind of religion. Do you think their religious belief stand in their way of bringing the Roma community together?
Well, to some extent, there are very religious communities, I would say. There are Roma who became evangelics the last 30 years after the democratic changes. During the communist time, evangelism was forbidden, and some Roma became more extreme Islamic believers. But most of the Roma, actually, they believe in this, what is called Romanipe. This what makes us Roma, and not if you belong to one or to another religion. And they unite just like Roma, not so much based on religion beliefs. So There are diversity of religions in Bulgaria, but not only in Bulgaria, we can say in all European countries.
Right.
But this is not an obstacle the Roma to be united. And when there is a need to fight for their human rights, linguistic rights, educational rights, or to celebrate big international days like 8th of April, the Roma Day, and 2nd of August, the Holocaust, Roma Holocaust Day, Memorial Day, dedicated to the Roma who were killed in the concentration camps. They come together, and no one thinks about this, I'm from this religion or I'm from that religion. Actually, many Roma more and more do realize that it doesn't matter to which religion you belong. In the eyes of the majorities, in their understanding, you are a Roma, and in many cases this means you are criminal. In many cases it means that you are dangerous for the society, and especially in this COVID pandemic time, the Roma in many countries were blamed that they brought the virus and they are spreading the virus. And because of that, against them were a lot of police attack. And in many Roma settlements, the Roma were beaten and they were isolated and they didn't have possibility to go out from the settlements. And there was no any water, any food for weeks. It was terrible. It was terrible last year, simply. And and then no one's asked them if you are from this religion or from that religion. You are simply Roma, which means you are dangerous for us.
Right. And so you just spoke about the pandemic. How is the current situation in Bulgaria or in other parts of the Europe with respect to the pandemic, and how it is affecting Roma?
Yes, it is affecting Roma because we know that one very big part of the Roma communities are poor, and that means that there is no possibility to buy disinfectants and masks and to protect themselves. And in many Roma settlements, there is no water. And so this is, affecting somehow the increased number of Roma infected and Roma who are dying because of the virus. Unfortunately, the situation is very bad and sad.
Right.
This is
we can just hope that the pandemic really, settles down and, things go normal as soon as possible, for the world and especially for the Roma people. Currently, you are the director of Roma Research Centre in University of Silesia, Poland. Please elaborate what kind of work is being conducted by the center.
Well, the center was established very recently, 1st of December 2020. I got the order from the rector of the university that I am appointed as a director of the Roma Research Centre. But actually, the reason to establish the Roma Research Centre is the ICCR in New Delhi.
Oh, right.
And I was in participating last year in conferences where the Director General of ICCR was there also. And he expressed, and the conferences were about Roma and Indian connections. And the director of the ICCR expressed his wish to support the establishing of such a center, that the connections between India and Roma in Europe start to get more intense, and that scholars from India can come and study Roma here in Europe, and Roma scholars from Europe can go to India and start to study there, to do some studies and cooperation with colleagues from different universities. So this is what we did. We established the Roma Research Center, and we organized the first conference on the end of March this year, dedicated to 8th of April. And now we are trying to establish the International Roma Intellectuals Network to unite young Roma scholars, young educated Roma to be in a network, so that we bring a little bit more awareness of our identity, of our language, and of our culture. And of course, we are planning to have publications in this direction, and we started already some publications. We prepared some publications and very new research, and a lot of new research with collaboration with colleagues from mainly from New Delhi. But we are open for cooperation with professors from other universities as well. So yeah, anyone who is interested in Roma issues is welcome to contact me.
Oh, that's really nice, sir. That's really good to hear. I think more avenues, has open for for Roma students and also for Indians who want to know about Roma. That should be really great. It will be really good for interaction for for all the people. Sir, just before we conclude our interview, I wanted to know that when I was interviewing Dr. Ian Hancock from Texas University, he told me about his library and his books, and he wanted to send to you all his books and all his library to you for your Roma Research Center. So, what can you tell us? Is there any progress on that?
Well, actually, his library is very huge. Professor Dr. Ian Hancock was working for 45 years at the University of Texas as an expert on Romani and Roma history, Romani language, Roma culture, and throughout all those years, he collected extremely many books, and not only books, but also paintings, and all kinds of artifacts and cultural symbols, and etc. and etc. When I spoke with him, he told me that he has something like 5,000 to 6,000 books, and I don't know how many paintings and how many other artifacts and symbols which he wants to donate to our university. What we try now to do is to get some funding from ICCR in order to be able to transport the books. Actually, he's donating the books and he's not
Right.
selling the books
Right.
to our Roma Research Center. But even to send the books in a good shape and to preserve them during this transport from Texas to Poland, we need some financial support. And I hope very much that we will be able to solve this issue with ICCR in New Delhi. We did send our application to them, and the budget for this issue exactly for these items, the transport of the books, and we are expecting their answer.
Right, sir. It's whatever Dr. Ian Hancock and you are doing. It's the work is fantabulous. And ICCR, if you're listening, kindly help Dr. Kuchukov for this great work. It will really help to foster the relations and also increase the knowledge and help basically this connection between India and Roma that will further increase.
Yes, thanks for this. And actually, I would like to say that the Roma Research Center in Poland is the only research center in Europe for the time being. There are Roma departments, there are Roma institutes, and etc., but they are not so much focused on research. And the mission of our center is to do research and to help young Roma and Indians to write PhDs in the field of Roma issues. And in this sense, the books which Professor Hancock wants to donate to our center will be extremely valuable and very big richness for the institute, for the center, that our students and PhD students and young researchers can use. This is extremely big library, and it's very rich, and I will be really very happy to have it in Poland. Yeah, in Europe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope that this request of yours is answered soon, and very soon all the books are there and your center really benefits and the student really benefits from this. Thank you very much, sir, for your time today. It was really nice. Let's hope and connect soon again.
Thank you very much.
No, sir.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.